Welcome to the Globetrottin ADs. This podcast is for you, athletic directors, activity coordinators, coaches, and program associates based in international schools around the world. The Globetrottin ADs is proudly hosted by Nick DeForest from the American International School Vienna and Matt Fleming from the American International School of Budapest. Here they are now, Nick and Matt and the Globetrottin ADs.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Globetrottin ADs. I am Nick DeForest, and I'm running solo here for this episode as I talk about the third installment of the International Schools Athletic Director State of the Industry Survey. Yeah, it's already been 2 years since the last one, believe it or not, 2021. And before that, the first ever survey was in spring of 2019. That was before Globetrottin ADs were even a thought on my radar, and before all of this pandemic shift to online and conferences and all the great things that have come from then. Way back in 2019, the first real attempt at bringing this international school AD community together was a survey that I put out without a big mailing list, just knowing some people and begging them to send it on and pass it to as many different people around the world that were out there and doing AD type roles in international schools. And back then, there were 73 responses to the survey, which I thought was mind-blowing back then. And then in 2021, it was 105. So over 30 more responses 2 years ago, primarily European ADs with 40 responses from people in Europe. Then there were Latin America and Asian ADs with over 20 from each of those regions. And then Middle East and African ADs. Didn't quite get to 10 each survey replies from them. But yeah, 105 responses. That was awesome. And this year, 2023, I'm really hoping to get a lot more. But also, I've included a whole second survey, which I'll talk about in a minute. But to the ADs, what am I asking? What's the whole point? Well, we really want to bring the community together, hear what each other think about different things, and then get together this list of our top concerns, things that we're worried about, and we can really use it to champion programs, show our admin things. Hey, look, ADs around the world are asking for more of this. Or if ADs had more time, they would do this. Look, we need to focus on this. This is important to not just me, but ADs around the world. And then also, it's just interest. It's nice to know if others are in the same boat as you are. And this is a great way to do it. And also to compare year after year after year. So I mentioned this is the third survey. So 2019, 2021, and now 2023. And a lot of the questions are the same. Some choices have been added to some of the questions, which I'll talk about, but the majority of the survey is exactly the same, and we can then compare from year to year to year. Of course, 2021, a COVID year, there were a whole bunch of COVID questions added, and that was the top concern of the most ADs out there, COVID related, if they were going to have a season in 2022. That was a top concern back then. But in 2019, the top concern of ADs was finding qualified coaches. In 2021, that was the second top concern behind the COVID related issues. What was new in 2021 where a lot of ADs were concerned about job security. Cutbacks in programs, if they're going to have programs at all. That was something new. Hopefully that's not on the table anymore, and we're back and secure in our jobs. But because of the changing landscape, I haven't removed all of the COVID questions. I have one section on the survey that's specifically about this year, because coming out of COVID as we are this year, you say we're back to normal, but normal doesn't quite feel the same anymore, at least not for me. It's been quite a challenging year to get things done, remember what we used to do before, and keep building and improving for years to come. So it's been a challenge. So there's a few questions in there, how you feel about this year and if it's been different or back to normal. Couple of the different questions added, or let's say not questions, but things you can select as a concern. I've added in there rising costs of trips. Of course, many of us have shifted to hotel stays, so that could be a big one. I've also put in one selection on transgender issues, if that's a growing concern for a lot of people out there. Yeah, of course, a question I like to read the answers to, the wish list, or, if you had unlimited budget, what would you do? And then, of course, the other one is, if you had unlimited time, what would you do? If you had more time, where would you spend it? So that's really the makeup of the survey. It's been great. It's been great to get to know ADs around the world a little better through some of their answers. And just like in the past, I will write a summary article that goes through and talks and analyzes who filled in the survey, what the top concerns were, and some of those other things that I mentioned will be summarized and analyzed. And last year I had the article published in Thai, the International Educator. I felt that was important to get, let's say, the things on our mind out to other international school people, not just ADs, coaches who I'll talk about soon, principals, teachers, ADs. So that was great to have that included in Thai, thanks to them. Of course, I had the article published with School Rubric, the same kind of goal, getting it out there to other people. And then Coach and AD magazine in the US published a link to the article. They didn't put it in the magazine, but they had it on their website, which was great because ultimately the survey was taken from the Coach and AD survey. They do one every 2 years as well. And I thought it would be great to do an international version. So that's where it all stemmed from. So thankfully, the last 2 surveys, they've also helped me get the word out about it. So that was great. I'll do the same thing again. But I want to get the word out through the podcast and online and through those sources this year to get the most responses possible. Even more than the 105, I hope. ADs can fill it in. Assistant ADs can fill it in. Activity coordinators can fill it in. It will be great to hear from you and have your concerns and your thoughts shared with the rest of the world. So I mentioned coaches a few times, and something new. I've added a second survey, one for coaches. So we have the International AD State of the Industry Survey, and now the International Coach State of the Industry Survey. Of course, there are way more coaches out there than ADs, right? ADs, 1 in a school. Coaches, hopefully 30, 40, 50 in each school, if not more. So ADs, you're listening to this, the link's below. I'll have the link out. I'll get you the link. Please get all of your coaches to fill in the coach survey. It will help you. It will help all of us the more coaches fill it in. I haven't asked them questions like, how much money do you make? Or what's your stipend like? Or how many weeks do you coach? No, I've asked more general questions, just like the AD one, based it off that. Of course, I've asked them what sports they coach, what region of the world they're in, what level they're coaching at. But then a lot of the things are the same. As I ask to rate your concerns, job security is the same, funding budget for your program the same, getting enough games, pressure to win, and of course some coach-specific things like finding the time to continue coaching, being constantly on duty when you stay in hotels with your team, a new one for a lot of people, managing your classroom expectations and then being a coach. So a lot of coach-specific questions. Of course, the one I didn't mention yet, one of the questions on the AD and coach survey is, when confronted by parents of athletes, what is it usually about? That is a great one. So hopefully that one just flies off the charts. The numbers for that one just go through the roof, and we can really get a lot of data to process of what our coaches are thinking about. And Coach and AD magazine in the US, they do a coach survey as well. So I kind of had it, I was thinking about it for a while. But with the Coaching for a Greater Purpose conference that was in Brussels at the start of this year, and the one coming up in Dusseldorf on January 12th to 14th, I was really thinking how smooth our interactions should be with coaches, how we should work together even more importantly now more than ever, and how we're all on the same page. At that conference with ADs and coaches all together, all talking about the same types of things, and we can learn from each other, obviously, and most ADs are still coaches or were coaches first. So ADs, you can fill in the coach survey too. But please, like I said, pass it on. Really encourage them to fill it in, and I'll work on the results even more so, and try to have something special planned for that Coaching for a Greater Purpose conference in January in Dusseldorf with all these results. I think it can really help coaches from around the world look at each other and see what we're all concerned about. But I think it'll be really, really powerful. ADs talk and maybe survey their own coaches in their own school. I know I ask our coaches a lot of questions on their season-ending survey. That helps the program. But this spanning multiple schools, multiple conferences, could be really impactful. So that's the new thing for this year. Way more work for me, not just analyzing 105 AD responses like in 2021, but hopefully this year I'll be processing and analyzing, 500, 600, I don't know, could be 1,000, I don't know. It's kind of on your shoulders, listeners, ADs, if you want to help me and you want to get the data from this yourselves and then help me get the word out for this great initiative, I think, going into its third round here of surveys. So let's just hear from Kukri, or it's from me, but about Kukri, and then we'll come right back, and I want to mention the conference and a few other small things right when we come back. So stay with me. Kukri are a global multi-sport clothing brand specializing in providing the world's most prestigious schools with bespoke-made and designed team uniforms for students of all standards and abilities. If you are frustrated by inconsistent colors, branding, costs, and sizing across your school's uniforms, then it's time to discuss an offering where every sport is available, from softball to soccer, for male and female athletes at rates to suit your budget. To find out how Kukri could elevate the apparel of your student athletes to a professional level, email the team at contact@kukrisports.com. A dedicated sales manager will offer you a quote today. Mention this ad and receive a special offer on your coach or PE staff order. Okay, thanks as always to Kukri, not just a sponsor of the Globetrottin ADs, but also a sponsor for the Coaching for a Greater Purpose conference. So Marcus was in Brussels the start of this year, and I assume he will be in Dusseldorf, Germany, from 12th to the 14th of January for the Coaching for a Greater Purpose conference round 2. You don't just have to be an international school coach, but a lot of international school coaches and ADs were there, and hopefully that just blows up as well. I have actually already purchased my flight ticket to Dusseldorf and reserved a hotel. So I'm in. Someone else who is already in is the keynote speaker, David Nurse. He'll be there, and then he's going to go to some schools around Europe. So he's coming to AIS Vienna, going to do a shooting clinic, going to talk to the coaches, maybe the parents too. Let's see how much time he has, or if he's got to jet off to another school. So if you want to have him come to your school, then just let me know. Not that I'm working for David or I'm getting a commission or anything, but he's around. Love to hook him up with a lot more schools. Should be a great time. So yeah, so join me and a lot of other ADs and coaches in Dusseldorf in January. All right, well, that is enough for this short survey solo episode. I have the links to the surveys in the show notes when you're listening. I will tweet them out. I'll have them in a newsletter. I'll post them on Facebook. I will send emails to all of you that always listen. I'm sure I'm in email contact with a lot of you. I'm going to get these survey links out, have School Rubric push out the links to the surveys, have Ty push out the links to the surveys. Anybody and anyone out there can share the links, share the surveys. Just get them out and fill them in. Really, you could take 2 minutes, 1 minute, check the boxes, click here, click there. Okay, 2 minutes. 1 minute's too fast. You could go through it like that and get your voice heard, but you can also take some time. You can write a lot. You can explain things. Don't have to. For the article last year, I took a lot of quotes directly from people that explained a lot. So I'll look forward to doing that again. I thought that was really great. Edition last year from 2019, where I didn't do that. So yeah, quick, long, most important, you fill it in, and you fill it in honestly, and that you share the word. So thanks for listening. If you listen to all the way through, even better. And you're hearing me say thanks once again, and see you for another episode soon with Matt Fleming. So for me and from Matt, thanks for listening. See you next time.
Until next week, this has been another episode of the Globetrottin ADs.